I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder.
Hi everyone, I am Joseph Aguinillo, 11 STEM student, and I'm here to share my knowledge on how to combat or overcome the barriers of communication. But before that, what is the barriers of communication? Barriers of communication is something that prevent us from correctly getting or accepting the messages. In short, it is the one who takes an action for us to apply the communication incorrectly. It includes psychological barrier, where on how the message is received. Stress management is a significant personal skill that affects our interpersonal relationships. For example, anger. Anger is a psychological barrier to communication, where we observe that if we are angry, it's very simple to say things that we may afterwards regret. The second one is physical barriers, where destructive things occur, and our senses of sight, hearing, and others may trigger. Common examples are structure, noises, and time distance. The third one is physiological barriers, where affects the receiver physical condition. Examples: receiver with condensed hearing may not grab the sum of spoken conversation, especially if there is significant surroundings, noise. The fourth one is language and semantic barriers. Language and linguistic aptitude may act as a barrier to communication. However, when communicating in a similar language, the term used in a message may act as a barrier if it is not easy to understand by the receiver. And those are the barriers of communication that is commonly experiencing by many people in our daily lives. Now, how are we going to overcome those given barriers of communication? I have here some tips and examples on how are we going to combat the communication or the given barriers of communication. The first one is widen your terminology. We can overcome the language and semantic barriers by reading books, dictionaries, and other things that can help us widen our vocabulary in order to understand other dialects, language such as Tagalog or English. By this, our level of vocabulary will widen, and that is a very big help for us to overcome those given barriers. The second one is listen carefully. Listen carefully is a very big help for us to overcome some barriers. In parts of the receiver should do its part, listening actively on a speaker in order to understand the meaning of it. The third one is try practicing and applying management by walking around. Sometimes in our daily lives, we can experience communication while walking or while we are busy. And since we are busy, we tend to understand or we tend to not understand the speaker's meaning properly. By this, we should practice and try applying management by walking around to be able to overcome or sometimes combat these given barriers. The fourth one is control your emotions. All of us should know how to control our emotions because these emotions may fall to misunderstanding and correctly applying the communication. Try to relax and control your emotions. The fifth and the last one is overcome your fears by practicing communicating in front of many people. All of us may experience fears on communicating in front of many people. We tend to feel awkward or shy due to our lack of confidence and staying in our cave. We should know how to talk in front of many people confidently. By this, we should practice talking and starting doing your move to improve our confidence. By this, we can overcome some mental barriers and gain confidence that we can apply on our future journey. Okay, I have here some bonus on how are we going or how we can overcome or combat the barriers of communication. The sender or the speaker should release or express its word understandable. We should assure, speaker should assure that the word that he or she is expressing is understandable by the receiver. That is some tips and example on how are we going to overcome and combat the barriers, the given barriers of communication. I hope that it helps you a little bit or it is a big help for you. I hope so. So thank you for watching. Good luck 11 STEM and padayan.